Viewers, you're welcome to the Kashmir Culture Center. This is the meeting, we call it Muqaddama Kashmir, the case of Kashmir. I have first participant, Mr. Abbas Bhatt. He is the chairman of the Kashmir National Party from UK. Our second participant is Ms. Yasmin Rendell. She is the chairperson of the NGO You Are Welcome from Vienna, Austria. And we have the next participant, Dr. Gunther Klodner. He is the head of the NGO SAIGE from Vienna, Austria. And now I have the fifth participant, Mr. Latif Bhatt. He is the member of JKL from Srinagar, Kashmir, India. So friends, welcome to the meeting, and we start. Today's topic is the line of control or line of crime. I would request Mr. Abbas Bhatt, please tell us something about the line of control and the atrocities committed there.
Thank you very much, sir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very good afternoon to all the participants and ladies and gentlemen. What is LOC and the birth date of LOC? LOC actually means at the moment is line of control. If you look back to the history, which is nearly 70 years more or less, that line of control looks like to me line of crimes. All sort of crime is happening on that line of control. Basically, when the British Raj, with the departure of British Raj from the Indian subcontinent on 15th August 1947, gave birth to the new Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And at the same time, India became an independent country. So instead of one Indian subcontinent, it divided into India, Pakistan, and also the state of Jammu Kashmir become independent by law, actually, which I will explain later on why legally it was independent. It was not part of Pakistan, it was not part of India, but an independent country. Pillan at the time held the motive of dividing India in a manner where the Muslim majority will move to Pakistan and the non-Muslim would remain in the new independent India. However, this formula known as the Taqsim-e-Hind, the division of the Hindustan or India, did not apply to the over 500 princely states because India was divided into two parts. One part was 500 or plus princely states, and the other India was, which was known as the British India. This Taqsim-e-Hind, the division, was actually applied this formula on that area of India which was under direct control of British at that time. They have the choice of become independent. Either they become part of Pakistan or part of India, or they have the choice to remain as an independent. Ye Taqsim-e-Hind did not apply to the over 500 princely states. These were the princely, because Jammu and Kashmir was also a princely state. Therefore, Kashmir, a princely state, also by choice choose to sign the standstill agreement with Pakistan, leading him to become independent as well. India also asked more time to sign any agreement with India. India also have no issue with independence of Jammu and Kashmir. In both countries, one already signed standstill agreement and the other asked give more time to rethink about it. That means the both countries on that 15th of August 1947 had no problem if Jammu and Kashmir become independent. Kashmir issue remains unresolved for around 70 years. The issue was created when the British rule ended in Indian subcontinent in 1947. Kashmir was free state comprising of around 84,400 square miles borders with India, Pakistan, China, and Central Asia. The state became occupied by the neighboring countries in October 1947 after an armed conflict arose between India and Pakistan. The very first war actually between India and Pakistan on state of Jammu Kashmir. Peace was established when ceasefire took place after UN Security Council adopted its first resolution on 13th of August 1948, in which both India and Pakistan promised to organize a referendum and facilitate the people of Kashmir in a free and fair manner to exercise their right to choose their future through a ballot. Since 1949, about 70 years now gone, at past both countries have failed to fulfill their promises, while the signatories to the ceasefire agreement failed to fulfill their obligation despite all effort. Today's topic, as Mr. Khan already explained, today's topic is LOC, line of control or line of crime. Let me first explain what is LOC. A reason of this creation, they have been known by two different names. C is for line, then line of control, and additional LAC, line of actual control. LAC is a boundary between China and India. The concept of line of actual control came in a bilateral agreement in 1993, although there was no concrete settlement on ground positions between these two countries. The LAC separates India controlled territory from China's controlled territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The territory between India and China, where they'll actually fight and take over one part and the other take the other part of the country, that is known as line of actual control. And that part which is between India and Pakistan of Jammu Kashmir state's part, that is known under, first it was ceasefire line, then it changed into LOC, line of control. The LAC separates India controlled territory from Chinese controlled territory of Jammu and Kashmir. It is a big empty region, and nearly 50 to 100 kilometer distance is maintained by the armies of India and China. LAC is divided into three regions: the western sector in Ladakh, the middle sector in Uttarakhand and Himalayan Pradesh, and the eastern sector which spans Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. So going back to LAC, which was the most important because LAC got very, very low population in those areas and less trouble. Main trouble is basically on line of control where majority of the population is on this side of Jammu and Kashmir. Originally known as the ceasefire line. When it started, actually, it was known as ceasefire line. Then later on, it changed. The first war between India and Pakistan over J&K territory gave birth to ceasefire line. It was named under Karachi Agreement in July 1949. Here, some people might confuse because there are more than one Karachi Agreement for different reasons, for different areas. This was also known as Karachi Agreement, which is signed in July 1949, where the military representative of both countries signed the agreement. It was redesignated as the line of control following the Shimla Agreement, which was signed in 3rd of July 1972. So from 1949 till 1972, that remained ceasefire line. And then 1972, it is signed by Prime Minister of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, signed this, and it changed the name of that line into line of control. The part of former princely state that is under Indian control is known as the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Ceasefire line changed to LOC in 1972 after the signature. The line of control is a military control line between the Indian and Pakistani controlled parts of their former princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. A line which does not constitute a legal recognized international boundary. It is not an international boundary, but serves as the de facto border. The birth of the LOC itself was a violation of human rights. Its birth took place in the middle of the community, and it did not care for the many villages and communities. It separated families who were living apart, unable to ever safely meet again. To add to this soreness, authorities used electro-cutting wires to build the LOC and used landmines in areas close to the LOC. People of Jammu and Kashmir, grieving the lost separation of their families, were electrocuted or killed by landmines if they even attempted to reunite. The residents' right to a private family life was destroyed overnight. Since its birth, the LOC has been the cause of nothing more than further human rights violations. Today, fighting takes place daily from both sides of the line of control, and it is the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they are dying and their homes every day. The residents living across either side of the LOC are the unseen victim of the conflict in South Asia. The line of control is armed with equipped military, and on either side are millions of unarmed civilians across 460 miles of land. The Geneva Convention and the international humanitarian law is violated on a daily basis by the military of both countries. Ironically, both countries, India and Pakistan's international borders are safe and sound. The game shelling is not played there it is only played with lives of the Jammu and Kashmir's people. If India and Pakistan are interested in playing this border game and wish to prove who is more powerful, then they should play this on their own international borders. Although we don't wish that they should have a war between India and Pakistan, but if still they want to prove that we are the big military, we are the more powerful than the others, then they should take their own international borders, not on our border, actually, not killing the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Why are lives of Kashmiris being lost at the cost of ongoing and petty differences of these two countries? Previously, CNBC have issued, they are the NGOs, issued articles regarding 10 global hotspots for major human rights violations. Amnesty International revealed the 10 worst attacks on human rights across, but unfortunately, either of these reports or any other report I have come across as the human rights situation on the LOC being recognized. While human rights should be universal, it has not been applied to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Since the birth of LOC, there have been thousands of cases regarding every sector of LOC, whether being a Kotli sector, Nakyar sector, Tatapani sector, you name it actually. Or Khurata sector even, which is the biggest worse than, and many more, but no conclusion. The numberdars of this world, the powerful countries, the big country, whether it's a European country, America, Russia, whoever you can name it, of this world are well aware of all the issues such as murder, rape, lack of food and shelter, losing home and families, but decide to turn their back on Kashmiris, who clearly are not important enough. I mean, why should their lives matter? Are they not a human like you and me? Wherever the fighting takes place, from being India or Pakistan, it goes through Kashmiris, killing them, harming them, and affecting their everyday lives. Because the bullet which have been used by the Indian army or Pakistan army got no eyes to find out the difference between an army man and a civilian man. And unfortunately, more civilians are being killed than the army people on that area, because army people are safe sitting in their bunkers. But civil population, they live their normal life actually around. And suddenly, this bullet comes up without any recognition, whether it's a Muslim or non-Muslim. Doesn't make any difference for a bullet. And that bullet destroys actually the basic life of the people living around the LOC. Do Kashmiri lives not matter? Are they less important than others? Why are other lives are more superior than Kashmiri lives? Why has nothing been mentioned regarding their human rights? These are the basic questions which we people ask actually. Are we the people of Jammu and Kashmir are not a human being? What's wrong with us actually? We are all, I mean, in Europe, in America, in Russia, the life of the animals are more important than the lives of the Kashmiri people living around LOC and even living under Indian control or Pakistan control side of the Jammu and Kashmir. Ladies and gentlemen, finally I say it is not line of control, but this is life of crime committed by the all three occupiers, India, Pakistan, and China. So we demand to take the step and give save to life and property of innocent people of Jammu and Kashmir. And this is the actually duty of all the people who control those areas which is under India, that should be controlled and responsible for those areas, and those areas which have controlled the population living there is also Pakistan is responsible for that, to safeguard their life, their property, and their dignity, which they are not doing at the moment. This is part, and also this is the duty of those countries to make sure and facilitate the people of Jammu and Kashmir to decide about their future. These are the resolutions passed by United Nations. Anyway, I want to end up there. I want actually the other participants should say what they want to say, and if there is any question and answer, we will try our best to reply as good as possible. Thank you very much, sir.
So, friends, any question to Mr. Bhatt? Yeah, Ms. Yasmin, please.
Thank you very much for your interesting statement. I'm also worrying a lot about the situation of the population of Kashmir. I wonder why don't you go to the International Court of Justice?
Thank you, Jasmine. Very nice, actually. It's a very good question. And actually, there are more than one reason why we can't go. Actually, we haven't been through there so far. To go into International Court of Justice, we need support from a third party. Without a country's back, actually, you can't go into International Court of Justice. Our problem is neither India nor Pakistan and not even China actually likes us to go into the International Court of Justice. Help us actually and give us a country where the big or small who can back us, we can definitely go. And second issue is actually the division within the Kashmiris, because from last more than 70 years, we are divided people. Majority lives actually in Indian occupied Kashmir, and then Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan living in what you call it under Pakistan control, and now under China control as well. So we people haven't got much faith with ourselves at the moment. We actually say it might not be not very nice, but you can say actually they can't trust even each other because we haven't met actually for a long time, like more than 70 years. So the unity between the people of Jammu and Kashmir is at stake at the moment, and that is another reason why we can't choose actually to go into that. But more important thing is that to go into International Court of Justice, as far as I know, I might be wrong knowledge, but I think actually that's the right. We need an independent country to back us. Like Palestine, they have been there because they got many Arab countries who are backing the people of Palestine. But unfortunately, we haven't got anything or any country who can back us over there. And that is one of the biggest reasons that it is not possible for us.
So, Ms. Yasmin, any comments?
I'm surprised about this story with the third independent country, but I'm not sure if Mr. Bhatt says it's like this. You're sure you need a third country, neutral country?
So, Mr. Abbas, but I have a question. You you tell in your presentation that the Pakistan is not performing her duty to safeguard the life of Kashmiri people. So how can Pakistan prevent the people if the Indian army is shelling on the villages of Kashmiri or other ways around? So how can one country or the other country prevent the people?
It looks like that, I don't know.
Yeah, I am hearing, but you have some problem with your internet connection.
Looks like it happens something. But if you can hear me, I can answer your question, sir, first of all, then I will. Anyway, first of all, sir, the answer is that it's not Pakistan only who are supposed to safeguard the life, dignity, property, everything of those people of Jammu and Kashmir who are under their administration. Pakistan is supposed to do under their administration, same India have to do under their administration. It's not India. And the second thing which you said, it is right. If shelling coming from the Indian side, Pakistan can't safeguard it, and any shelling going from Pakistan side to India, they can't actually safeguard as well. But the thing is, at least they can sit and resolve the issue. Unless they don't resolve the issue, these killing will continue as it is from last 72, 73 years. It will continue on and on and on. India and Pakistan should sit, give the people of Jammu Kashmir a full opportunity, a time, a chance to decide what they want. Nuclear power, actually, it is not possible that India can take over the rest of part from Pakistan, or Pakistan can take over the rest of Jammu and Kashmir from India. So the only way forward is actually these two countries are the hurdles in the way of this solution. They have to be forward, they should be realistic, and they should think about themselves, about their own population, spending more and more money on defense, on buying weapons, and then less and less on education, on schools and health, etc. And that is the reason why their populations are living under below poverty line. And that is the only request from us actually, and this is the only way forward as I can think of.
I have a question to Mr. Latif, but please, can you tell us what is the situation on the other side of the LOC, how the people are affected there?
Abbas Bhatt told you it was normal a ceasefire line and they turned it in the LOC. But my question is, when they made the Shimla agreement, was there any Kashmiri in that meeting? No, no one was there. They are doing some extra, they are making some decision and putting on us. When they have some problems, they are going to shelling in border. I am not able to understand why only Kashmir. They have borders also in Punjab. They are not firing there. They are not shelling there. They have also borders in Rajasthan. Nothing is going to happen. Why they are making target only Kashmiri? Pakistani are shelling. They are killing Kashmiris. If India is shelling, they are killing also Kashmiris on the other side. Most of them is ladies and children. They are only shelling in the civilian, both sides. And why if they have some problem, they have to shell the picket. BSF has to shell the Rangers and Rangers have to shell the BSF. They are making everyday celebration in Wagah border. They are celebrating on shells. Mostly they have killed women and children because in the daytime, their men go in the fields, they are working there, and on the houses, they are children, and 2-3 times they have shelled in the school.
Thank you. Dr. Klodna, please, you always ready to find a solution. How can this whole game stop?
I compared the situation with the Kashmiri people with Palestinian and also Kurdish people. And I also think it would be very important to put it on the international agenda. It means either the court concerning the situation in Austria, for example, destiny of Kurdish people. There are many people because we have minority of Turkish and Kurdish people who are living for a long time in Austria. And it's a shame, it's really a shame that, for example, we made, for 2 months ago, we made a manifestation against the brutalities of Indian army and not more than 100 people. Please, do you think there's any favor for the Kashmiri people to connect it in all these cases in international agenda?
So, Mr. Abbas, but I have a suggestion for the Kashmiri people. Till the final solution, the Kashmiri should start a movement to put pressure both on India and Pakistan to stop killing on LOC, to like LAC, both armies should work there without weapons.
I 100% agree with you, Mr. Khan. 100%. That is at least a big relief, actually, the people living around the line of control on both sides. And also it will help, actually, the armies as well not to kill each other, because they won't have weapons. That means they can't kill each other. So that is the best way forward. But the only question is how. For this one, actually, we still need the basic thing, which is the unity of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. If we are not united, how we can request India, how we can request Pakistan, or how we can force the international community to do that? But this is the best way forward, I think, for Pakistan and for India, and plus for the people living around the line of control. If they can do to make it line of actual control, like what is the line between China and India is, it will safeguard the lives of innocent people of Jammu and Kashmir living around the line of control. Yes, 100% agree with that.
Ms. Yasmin, can you help the Kashmiri in this regard?
Well, I had 2 other questions. One is, why don't you put pressure to appoint the UN Blue Helmet Army in Kashmir at the line of control?
The answer is still the same, that we people of Jammu and Kashmir got no representative in United Nations who can present our case. Our case is present by India India took actually Pakistan to United Nations in 1947, and now over what you call it over solicitor is Pakistan. So those people who are controlling over areas actually they are responsible to take this case to United Nations. So they are sitting. That is the reason the case is sitting there for last 70 years, and there is no resolution passed so far. We could not sort it out because we Kashmiri never been in United Nations to present our own case. People of Jammu and Kashmir, who are the actual owner of that land, they never been given a chance in United Nations to present our case. And that is the biggest issue. But there is no one is presenting our case properly because without us, nobody can. And we are only the people who can present our case in a proper manner, and we should be given a chance. But nobody takes care about it. Nobody bothers about presenter who can present our case over there.
Nobody will take care because the Kashmiri should come out of their houses and they should go on the streets and they should protest that.
Sir, we have seen so many demonstrations around the world actually about people of Jammu Kashmir, what they done. Even in UK, actually, we've done so many demonstrations, but the out result is nil. We can't take weapon in our hand because then we will become a terrorist. More victims. We have done everything what is possible, but unfortunately, we haven't got any solution so far. But we are not even towards the solution side at all.
No, that's right. So said that the Kashmiri were not given a chance to sit together and they don't understand each other.
Yep.
I want to say something. Look,
Okay.
concerning what you said, there are two solutions in Turkey and also in Syria. Either to fight against the oppressors with parties, civilian parties, or like PKK. But it's not so that you have any chance to say, we don't want to fight. If you don't fight, in which way? I think if you don't fight, you have lost. And therefore, also, I think for Kashmir to sit in their homes and not to go to the streets and to organize something with syndicates, I think it's the beginning of the end of free Kashmir. Yes, I see it. So what do you see?
Sir, from last 30 years, we have really lost more than 3 generations in Jammu and Kashmir because they took weapons in their hand, and unfortunately, we could not find anything except that we lost our brothers, sisters, and sisters actually over there. We unfortunately could not achieve anything.
And Dr. Klorna, we are here to find a peaceful solution because the Kashmiri has lost our 100,000 people, experienced a lot, and we want to get rid of this, and we are looking for a peaceful solution. But my question was, why should not we go on the street in masses and protest and compel the government of India and Pakistan an agreement for this LOC that the army should be there? So we don't say they should go away because the UN, the United Nations resolution allow them to be there, but they are not allowed to kill the civilian and innocent people, and they are not allowed to bomb the schools and hospitals. So thank you, friends. That was nice to have you, and thank you for your time.